You can look through the window. So cab took us out there, and the cab driver was a coffin, descendant of Captain Coffin.
The cab driver was. That's funny.
And the tour guide took us around was a colt.
So Elihu Coleman was a shipbuilder?
No, he worked carpenter, building. So he knew how to build. So land was there, and of course he's the grandson of one of the founding families. So he had that, and he became a Quaker minister. The Quakers took over Nantucket, built Nantucket.
And he'd had something to do with not wanting slavery.
He was a minister, unpaid minister at the Quaker Church
in Nantucket.
In Nantucket, one of the early churches. This is 1720s, 1730. So he preaches that famous sermon, which Target has copies of.
Right, right.
Hard to read because it's that period. And he tells everybody in Nantucket that owns, all the owners, handful of them, that slavery is wrong. God says you can't own another person historically. The first, if not the first, one of the first writings against slavery is Elihu Coleman's writing. So he preaches a sermon. Eventually, a Macy, another old family, Mary Macy, gathers people together, and they decide to get rid of slavery on Nantucket. First place in the New World to get rid of slavery.
And this Macy woman was part of the Macy store?
She is, descendant of the Macy, and you are too, from whom comes the Macy store in Nantucket, which moved to New York and became Macy's, and has the big store. It's owned by a Jewish family now, but it was originally. And it offered credit, trust. You could trust people, give them credit, and that system enabled people to come in and buy, and they were identified in New York, but trustworthy. So he preached a sermon. Nantucket is free of slavery. Not only that, but it becomes the center of the abolitionist movement, which said slavery should be outlawed. But abolitionists were, some of them were, as you might use the word, fanatical. Others were, this is wrong, but it's going to take time to straighten it out. And everybody agreed you should let everybody come north and be free, but don't fool with the South, because they'll fight a war. Keep there.
Well, who were Elihu's parents and grandparents?
The first, Elihu's father, and that genealogy is good. Elihu's father was John Coleman, and his father was John Coleman, grandfather.
And now we're in the 1600s.
Great-grandfather is Thomas Coleman, first Coleman to come to Massachusetts in 1635.
Right.
Which is
Was
only
he in
about
Whaling?
a dozen years after the Mayflower.
Yeah.
So,
Was he in Whaling?
I think
It was Thomas Coleman?
Thomas Coleman, I don't know the particulars about that.
Okay.
Except they were there and they had land, but the land's interesting. Like, the island was owned, both islands, Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, were owned by the Reverend somebody, I can't think of his name. And he sold to 10 owners. He sold the island to 10 people. And then that's 1669. Then 1670, they took in partners. So Thomas Coleman was a partner of the second 10, which meant he had done well since he was himself an indentured servant in the Sultan's stall, Colonel Sultan's stall. Gained his freedom, took care of the animals for Sultan's stall, gained his freedom. The free man must have done what he didn't. decided he didn't like Puritans. And of course, Puritans in those days would kill Quakers who would find them. So the reason it moved to Nantucket was they had to get off, they had to get away from the Puritans who would have or hung you or whatever. I'm talking about Nantucket and his full ass, but I need to